Hey, I'm Beat Rider PA,
I'm Road Glide Andy.
and this is Coffee with HDR,
Well-
Cowboy America.
Yeah, the Great American Cowboy. Coffee with HDR, the Great American Cowboy style.
Great American Cowboy with HDR.
Hey, good morning, everybody, and welcome back, my friends, once again to Coffee with HDR. Friends, this is show number 146, and we are here on a Saturday morning, November 4th, 2023. Hard to believe it's November already, but let's get through the good mornings and the hellos here from everybody that's on the channel with us this morning, and we will go from there. Good morning to Road Glide Andy, who you just seen on the intro there, him and Be the Rider PA, being first in there this morning. Good morning to Toby Northern. Good morning to the Smyrna Cowboy. 38 degrees here in Smyrna, Tennessee. Pansrod says 43 in Connecticut. Wow, it's going to be a decent weekend. But I put the wing up for the winner last week. Be the Rider PA's in there. Good morning to you. D.A. Bishop's in the house. Good morning to D.A. Bishop. Nice to have you on board there with us this morning. Toby Northern, Captain Ed. Dean C's in the house. Motor Rambling is here. 28 degrees for Motor Rambling. Supposed to be 66 today. It's going to be a beautiful day. Good morning to Debbie and Mallory there in the great metropolis on the hill. Chuck Henson's in the house. Good morning to you from South Dakota. WS Keys on 3. Ty from Tennessee's in the house this morning. Ty had a great video out the other day. I think everybody needs to check that out. A lot of great editing work there for sure. Harley 103. Ron Kelly, good morning. Payne's Rides. Accidentally hit any. I'll be leaving a snarky comment after HDR. There you go. Tamar 007, good morning to you. Mike Bodine, good to have you in there. Motor Rambling. Danny's in the house. Good morning to you, Danny. Rocky J's coming in the house there. A lot of great people coming in to visit there with old Coffee with HDR this morning. And Paul, good morning. Should be 68 there. Toby said good morning to all the staff and crew out there on the HDR community, the HDR gang, the HDR, I don't know, what can we call ourselves? We need a name. HDR something. Anyhow, so it has been a week, and it's really crazy to me anymore. The older I get, the faster the weeks go. They just slip on by there, and I don't know where it goes, but it does kind of go by the wayside anyway. So anyhow, Toby Northern says, smash the likes button, folks. 32 watching, only 8 likes. That is horrible. The cult of HDR. There you go. Just don't drink the Kool-Aid. Don't drink the Kool-Aid, my friends. That would be very bad if you drank the Kool-Aid. So yeah, it's been a week. It's been an interesting week there. My students had to take their state practice test this week. They weren't excited about it at all, that's for sure. But they got through it. And the scores are what they are. I mean, some of them are really blowing it out of the water, and some of them aren't. And that's to be expected in a high school setting, right? And they got really down on themselves, and they're really hard, and they're really beating themselves up over this stuff. And it's like, you got to pass the final one. That's the big one. This is the practice one, but as I'm still going through the scores, still trying to figure out, what they did wrong or what they didn't know, what they did know, and so forth and so on. There you go, the HDR Coffee Club. That's a nice word. That's a nice way to have it. We have American Honey. Be the Rider PA says, yeah. Yeah, we do have American Honey here too. That's for sure. We've got to get our Saturday morning coffee on. Toby did a really cool thing on Instagram where they actually announced Coffee with HDR in the Senate. Was it the Senate or Congress? On the floor. So I was actually, when they named the new Speaker of the House, he got on. He told everybody there that they got to watch Coffee with HDR. So I thought that was pretty good. We are getting into the political realm of things, right? Maybe they'll call me and say, "How can we fix the country?" Now I'll tell them. I'll give them some pointers. But hey, we're not here for that, are we? Yeah, the weather. This is November, and the weather's starting, and it's funny as a motorcycle rider because a lot of us are looking at the weather, going, "Wow, it's going to be 50 degrees tomorrow." That won't feel too bad. We can get out there and ride. But there's the little thing called the wind chill factor, right? The faster you go, the colder it gets. And but I see that Payne's Ride said he put his Goldwing up for the winter already. My bikes are both winterized, but they're never winter stuck. Like I know some guys drop all their fluids out of their bikes and put it up on jacks and get the tires off the floor and cover it up, and they won't see it again until spring. I leave my bikes road ready all the time just in case I want to get out there and take a little spin. That hasn't obviously been the case lately. Every time I think about taking a spin on the weekend, it's been raining, so that hasn't been very nice at all. But it was the closest I could get to Smyrna Cowboys presidential phone call. There you go. That was really good, though. I wish I could have pulled that down there somehow to play it on the show for everybody, because I think it was definitely a really good little skit. Toby, you did a good job. I appreciate that. So, Motor Ramblings 57. You're a puppy. Yeah, Motor Ramblings 57 and retired. Come on. That's not even fair. That's not right. You shouldn't retire until you're 66 or 69 or 75. Now, if you can do it early, do it early. Windroad Therapy's in the house this morning. Miss ACR just made a comment on Windroad Therapy's Instagram posts. She said that woman is a world traveler. At this point, Windroad Therapy doesn't even know where her home is. Windroad Therapy may be hooking up with Scooter Tramp Scotty, and they might be traveling the globe together. So look for that. That's coming up. I know Scooter Tramp Scotty mentioned Windroad Therapy on one of his recent videos and said that they were thinking of doing a group ride together, the two of them, and ride somewhere, Asia or Africa or Indonesia or somewhere. That's going to be interesting for sure. So this week I put on there that we're talking about stuff like motorcycle maintenance. And guys, I've learned some great stuff this week. Remind us that your email, Harley Day Rider, I'll send it to you. Yeah, hit me up on Instagram, Toby. I'll give you my personal email address. Send it there. I can't pull. I guess I could pull it off a harleydayrider@gmail.com, but I'll send you my personal email. You should have it. Send it there, and I can pull it off to post it. Jeff Rice, good morning. You said you need to winterize here in California, but I paid $6.29 per gallon of gas. Oh, my goodness. I just seen the little thing on Instagram the other day. And guys, I told you, if you see some of my posts on Facebook and I don't answer you, don't get discouraged or anything. I don't really do Facebook anymore. And it's just something I don't look at every day. A lot of it's a lot of negativity, and I don't like the negativity side of things. So, plus, not only that, if you put the Facebook on your phone, at least my experiences was it kills your battery in about a half a day. So, I took it off my phone. I look at it maybe once or twice a month. But I do still do Instagram, which is still owned by Facebook or Meta or whatever they're calling themselves today. Hell, Twitter don't even know what to call themselves anymore, right? Used to be Twitter with the bird, now it's X. So companies try to rebrand once they're famous, and that doesn't make any sense. But Instagram, I am alive and well on. So if you want to catch me, you catch me on Instagram. That's where you want to hit me up at. Pete Motoventure says he's getting ready to winterize his bikes. Oh, wait, I don't do that. Oh, Pete. Yeah, he doesn't winterize. Pete, as many of you know, you may watch his videos there on Instagram and YouTube and all that about being a new Jeep owner. And he was out the other day and he was clearing some brush and riding over trees. And him and his wife was having a great time there. Jeep owners are amazing people. And give you a big old thumbs up. To me, people that own Jeeps are just like people that own motorcycles. You know, we're kind of that, I guess, that cult, right? That cult following. Paul says he's paying $3.49 for 91 octane ethanol free gas and stuff. You can't find ethanol free gas in Pennsylvania. Just don't have it. Good morning to Larry Mullins. Glad to have you on board here with us this morning. Jeff Ray said, you must be up in the mountains or a small town. He must also live in California. Anyway, I don't know the duck cult. There you go, Motorama, you're right. They are the duck cult. I don't even know how the ducks got started with Jeeps. It doesn't make any sense. I don't know. It's like, hey, I bought a duck and Jeep. A duck and Jeep. I don't know. I don't know where that came from, but it has been a thing for a long time. If you own a Jeep, you got to keep a whole basket of rubber ducks, the little rubber duckies, in your Jeep. And whenever you see another Jeep, you go and you put one on their hood or on their door handle and said, so they know that you've been, spied by another Jeep. Maybe we could have that in the motorcycle community, but I'm thinking we should have live octopuses. Carry those around in your tour pack. Take one out by the head and put it on somebody's handlebars, and it could wrap itself around the handlebars, and we could give each other live octopuses. Maybe that would be something to do. Or I guess it's called a squid. Is a squid the same thing as an octopus? It's a good question for the day. I don't know. Toby Northern said he found the email. Thanks, Toby. I will play that next week on the show. Yeah, so that's pretty cool. Okay, not the rubber duck. Yeah, well, it is. It's a rubber duck thing. The duck thing started in 2020, Be the Rider PA. Because Be the Rider PA just bought a Jeep also. It's one of those things that when one guy buys, they're all going to buy. So I might have to go buy a Jeep, I guess. But there's ain't one problem about that. My car's paid off. I have a Honda CRV, and it has just a little bit over 90,000 miles on it, guys. I can't get rid of it. I want to try to run that thing to 300,000 miles, right, if I live long enough, and see if it'll hold up. Because people said Hondas will last for 500,000 miles as long as you take care of them. And I baby that car. I mean, I take care of her, put full synthetic oil in her every 5,000 miles, not 10, and use the best maintenance care, the best care I can give her. Probably don't wash it enough. I need to wash it more often. Probably needs a coat of wax on it. But other than that, I've been taking care of it. Crawled around under it the other day, make sure nothing's rusted. Everything looks really good for 90,000 miles. I asked our auto mechanics, I said, hey, my spark plugs have never been changed. When should I change those? And he said, I would change them probably at 90,000 miles. I said, well, I just hit 90,000 miles. But if you ever watched a video on how to change spark plugs on a CRV, you would be amazed because you got to take all these. You got to take the top of the engine off. You got to take these solenoid things out. You got to take these firing things out, and then the spark plugs are all the way down through the bottom of the engine, which is absolutely ridiculous. I don't know if I'll be able to do it myself. I know I'll break something, or I'll lose a spark plug, or I'll cross thread it. I'm not a mechanic. I'm not. I watched a mechanic the other day, my buddy at work. He has a small engine repair he teaches down there, and they are tearing down a, I forget what kind of motorcycle it is. Anyway, he has the whole engine tore down, right? They tore the whole engine down. They actually are running all the parts through a part cleaner, and he's putting new gears in it. And he taught me a lot about motorcycles the other day that I didn't know. I've been riding motorcycles probably for 20 or 30 years, and there's things I still don't know about them. Hell, there's things when I get in the car and turn the key, I don't really know how the combustion works. I don't know how the starter turns the engine, turns the solenoid. I don't care as long as it goes, right? The motorcycle, I do care more. I want to know more about it, but I still couldn't fix one. I mean, not to the extent that I told you, Be the Rider PA. I know. I called. He's FaceTimed me the other day, and he showed me his motorcycle. And sure enough, the heads are already off, the pistons are already out, and he's sitting there cleaning everything with a toothbrush. I was like, "What the heck, dude?" He takes good care of his motorcycles, though. He knows how to fix them. So it's winter time. He's tearing the engine down, getting ready to do the tear down and clean up. So that'll be being done. I wish he'd filmed those for YouTube, make a great documentary series, but he won't. He's really shy about that. He doesn't want anybody to know he does that. He'll argue with me on his channel backwards and forwards that he doesn't tear his engine down every winter. And I report on every year that he does, and it's true, right? It's true. So, for one thing, I don't think a squid does ink. Octopuses emit ink as a defense mechanism. Okay, good to know. Typhus Tennessee, yes, you do. HDR needs one so he can go down dirt roads. No, I have a adventure bike to go down dirt roads, so that's not a big deal. Good morning to Buck Brown. I see you in there. Wish I still had my thingy. I used to have it. Harley 103, as I'm getting older and finding myself getting rid of things to make life more simple. So no Jeep for me, Harley 103 said. Oh my God, we'll be working on the timeout camper. OMG, be the rider, PA said. I do have high hopes this winter, actually, of pulling my boat in the garage. But when I do that, I have to leave my car outside. You guys know I'm spoiled. I don't want to have to scrape my windows on my car. I don't want to have to do all that. But myself and Henry want to take the boat and take the live well out. And if you don't know what that is, that's a place where you put the fish at so they stay alive. So when you bring them home, you can stab them in the head and you can kill them. And you do that because then they stay fresher tasting. As soon as you get them sliced up, you get them put in the freezer and they're fresher that way. Instead of leaving them die your stringer, get all hard like guys do, get home and try to cut those up once rigor mortis is set in. The fish just doesn't taste as fresh that way. Anyway, the live well itself, when I bought the boat, doesn't have a drainage system on it. So we want to take the live well out, recut a drainage system, put some more pumps in it. We also want to put an agitator in it. I don't know, something that repumps the water to give oxygen to the fish so the fish will stay alive without having to introduce more outside water to it. So we've been looking at this for 2 years now. We've been thinking about that. And the boat does need some attention. So I wanted to take it in the garage and actually do some tearing down of the boat this winter. And that could be my side project to get that ready. Because I tell you what, when fishing season starts, we don't have time to work on the boat. You got to fish, right? So now's the time to start doing the boat work. But again, when we first bought it, we had it in the garage. But then we wanted both cars to be in there and the 2 motorcycles, and we ran out of room, so it has to sit outside, and I'll cover it up. Anyway, motor rims. I'll be doing minor maintenance on my V-Storm soon. Tires, chains, sprockets, and a brake rotor. Larry Mullins, good morning to you. Glad to have you on board there with us. My neighbor has a 94 CRV. It is 350,000 miles. Larry, you just made me so happy. If I can get 350,000 miles out of that car, I will be super happy. So, I've been pretty pleased with it, though. I've been really, really pleased with my car. And we bought it brand new. I told you guys that before. Mrs. HDR, it was her car. At that time, I had a Honda Accord, a used one, that I picked up out of a car lot after we got rid of our truck. And it was just a work car. I mean, a great Honda Accord. I can't remember what year it was, 2009 maybe. Ran great, when I bought it, they told me at the car lot, an old couple owned it, and they just used it to grocery shop on Sundays and go to church. And they never really drove it much, and they took really good care of it. And I believed them. Anyway, Mrs. HDR went to buy a new CRV. She wanted to upgrade. She tried to upgrade once every 4 or 5 years. I think so. She went from the 2016 is what I have now, and she went up to a 2020. I think hers is a 2021, if I'm not mistaken, or a 2. I think it's a 2021. So a buddy of mine at work, I told him I was selling my Honda Accord, and he's like, "What? You're selling that car?" And I'm like, "Yeah." I said my wife wants to buy a new one, so I'm going to keep her CRV, the 2016, since we bought it new, and I know the track record. And I think we're going to go ahead and we're going to just sell the Honda Accord. take that money as a down payment instead of trading. You know, when you trade a car, they don't give you anything. Take that money from the Accord and give it to her to put on as a down payment on her new CRV. He goes, I'll buy it. I said, what? He said, what do you want for us? The book value said $6,000. He said, okay, I'll get you a cashier's check. I said, do you not want to test ride? He goes, no, I can see it's a beautiful car. So we took it for a test ride. We actually went to lunch together. Remember that? That was a few years ago. And we go out to lunch, and he's driving it. He's like, oh, man, this is an amazing car. And we got back to the school, and I said, well, what do you think? He goes, yeah, I'll have the cashier's check for you tomorrow. He said, make sure you have all your stuff, obviously. I'll take it home tomorrow. And just like that, he bought it for $6,000. He said it was worth, and he still drives it today. And he loves that car. He takes good care of it. And this is a guy that has many different cars. I mean, but he just wanted the Honda Accord. He said, it'll last forever. So he bought it. So that's how I came up with my CRV. Good morning, Risky Medic. Glad to have you on board here with us this morning. A live well without a drain was probably meant to be a storage box. No, actually, it does have the water inlets to it. Harley 103, so there is a pump on the back. I turn a switch on, and it fills from the outside water. It pumps water into the live well. So, yeah, it's not a storage box. He just didn't put a drain in it. So we've been doing is using old, if you guys ever seen I guess it's called a sump pump or an immersible pump. We had it for our swimming pool when the water used to sit in the cover, and we would throw this in there and we would pump the water out of it. So that's what we had it for. But we use that now to pump the water out of the live well. But it doesn't get it all. And then I have to use some towels to kind of sop up the bottom to dry it out so it doesn't, it's stainless. I think it's stainless steel or aluminum or something. It doesn't rust. But yeah, it's definitely a live well. So can't tell you that. So getting back to some of this maintenance. So on a motorcycle, I told him on my Harley, I said there's 3 holes I got to drain my oil. But on my Himalayan, there's only 1. Well, the engine he was tearing down, he said, come here, can you show me inside the casing how it works? I don't even know if it's most. The primary motorcycle manufacturers out there, if you only have 1 drain plug, the transmission and the engine, the motor, are all inside of 1 casing. Got that? It's all inside 1 casing. Whereas on a Harley, he said they made them modular. So modular means the engine is separate from the primary separate from the transmission. And they're kind of joined together in a way, but they don't transfer oil between those 3 chambers. They all have their own drain plug, and they all do independent things. And I said, well, what's better? Is it better to have everything in 1 motor? And he said he likes it better because it's easier on maintenance. I said, yeah, but if your transmission goes, then your engine's shot. If your engine's shot, then your transmission doesn't work. If your primary's shot and you can't shift, you can't run the engine. And he said, well, that is true. He said, but on the other side, he said, with the Harleys, you could just change either piece, right? If the transmission goes, you just put another transmission on your Harley. The engine and the primary is still fine. So I thought, that's really interesting. Did you guys know that? Is that something that I'm telling you that you already knew? Good morning to Bodine52. Scott Davis, good morning. This is something that I did not, I didn't know that Harley Davidsons were modular engines. He said there's some other companies that do it, but he couldn't really tell me which ones. Because most companies build them like the Himalayan is. And the Honda Goldwing, everything's inside that 1 case. So, something to think about anyway. Be the Rider PA said, yes, I knew that. Of course, Be the Rider PA said that because he tears his down every winter. He knows exactly what's in there. But, yeah, so I thought that was really interesting. And it's just really fun to watch people work on these motors. Well, I told him, I said, look, I do computer work, and we have computers in the shop at school, and they were donated. They're HP all-in-ones. Have you seen it? Matter of fact, my old iMac was an all-in-one. So the computer, something happened to the computer, so now I can no longer use the nice big 27-inch monitor, right? And if the monitor would go, then the computer pretty much is useless because everything's connected together. Same with the HPs at school. I like a modular computer system where if the computer goes, I can replace it, hook another computer up to my monitor. If the monitor goes, I could just buy another monitor, right? So I do like that system better. So I would say, I guess, even though with harder maintenance, I'm probably more of a Harley guy than a Himalayan guy. Engine wise, maintenance wise, anyway. They're both great bikes rideability wise, but yeah, anyhow. It is pretty easy to do maintenance on a Himalayan. All right. Roguelite Andy said shaft drive bikes have a drain and a fill plug on the gearbox at the rear of the bike. Okay, well, that's good to know. See, I didn't know that stuff. Be the Right PA said my Yamaha was like that. There was always a plus and a negative to everything, like a Mac and a PC. You are exactly right. There is a plus and a negative to everything. I don't know what's better. I could tell you from a cost standpoint, on a modular system on a motorcycle, I think the maintenance costs more because you obviously got to buy more fluids because you got more holes to fill. But on the Himalayan, I mean, well, that bike is just dirt cheap. I mean, I had to run semi-synthetic oil in that bike, and I bought a box of oil filters. Get this, I guess it was a case of 12 oil filters for like $30. So I could do 12 oil changes on my Himalayan. You got to change the oil on that a little bit quicker than every other bike, though. Its maintenance schedules every 3,000 miles and not every 5. So, of course, like Jim will tell you, with synthetic oil, you can actually change your motorcycle oil once. I mean, with synthetic? Yeah. No. Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. You can change your oil once every 10,000 miles and be perfectly fine. So I still change mine every 5, and that was funny because I was talking to North or South by Northeast, and he said he changes his every 1,000 or 2,000 miles. To me, that's a little excessive, but it's your motorcycle, it's your money, right? And you're taking care of something. Do what you feel is right. I mean, I think that's overkill. But he says he's never had a problem with it, and that's what he likes to do. So I would never knock that. I think that's a good thing. All right, mid-show roll commercial. We hit the 30-minute mark. Let's play it. Let's go ahead. Just speak up.
Hey, I'm Being Right PA,
I'm Roguelite Andy.
and this is Coffee with HDR.
Well-
Cowboy America.
Yeah, the Great American Convoy. Coffee with HDR, the Great American Convoy style.
Great American Cowboy HDR.
Okay, there you go. Yeah, so who was that? I just was reading down through some of the chats there as we were watching the mid-roll. Okay. Smyrna Cowboy said when he had the Scoot, he changed the oil every 2,000 miles and the filter every other oil change. And I've heard people doing that also, for sure. You're supposed to change. Pete Motor Adventure said, "Are you supposed to change oil?" No, Pete. You don't have to change the oil. Don't worry about that. Here's another question for you. I know a lot of you are either or. And I do both, so I can't say I'm one way or the other. Kind of that guy that's on the fence. And we probably talked about this before, and I probably did a video about it at one time or another. And I got to get back into creating YouTube videos. I haven't been out riding much, but I have a ton of work to do on the motorcycle, guys. Plus, I told you I'm putting a new sound stream stereo system on the Harley. That's going to definitely happen this winter, and I just have to order it in. I was waiting because SoundStream is actually building a new one that has an independent GPS. I don't want to have on my motorcycle the only option of being Apple CarPlay, my phone on the GPS. Myself and Mrs. HDR went away. I went to where did we go? Oh, I went to my college class. Well, coming home, we took the long way home. Remember that dogs are barking. There was this song. So you think you're a Romeo, met a part in a picture show, take the long way home. Well, Miss HR took the long way home because she was looking for something called Gravity Road. And we were out in the middle of the boondocks. I mean, the boondocks. And we had one of our iPhones connected up to her stereo. She has Apple CarPlay. The GPS could not find a signal where we were. The worst feeling in the world is to be out there on your Harley and be somewhere in the middle of the wilderness where we often get to and have no GPS signal. So I want to make sure I have an actual GPS on the bike, and I like to have the convenience of having the Apple CarPlay. So SoundStream actually is coming out with a new head unit that has an independent now GPS feature in it. That was what I was waiting for. That was the sticking point I was waiting on. But I'm going to buy that. I didn't want to spend the $1,600 to $1,800 for the new Harley boombox and have all those problems everybody's having with it anyway. I didn't want to do that. I wanted to buy something that was going to be really solid and really good, and that's what SoundStream does. They build audio units. So, it's totally waterproof. It's way better than the Sony. I was going to buy the Sony. It's like, no, don't buy that because when it rains, it gets water in the front. And I'm like, why do they even advertise and sell this as a motorcycle thing? There's not even really a fair weather rider out there. All of us sooner or later can get stuck in rain. That's what happens out there when we're riding. So I'm going to buy that and put that in this winter. I still got to re-straighten my fairing. I told you it's still off. It bugs me, but I'm going to ride that Harley until I ride it into the ground, until it gets 250,000 miles on it, which I ride it about 10,000 miles a year, so that's going to take me a long, 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 long time to get that many miles on it. The bike itself is very well cared for because it's in a garage all the time. It's on a trickle charge all the time. Even in the summertime, I take care of my batteries. I don't want to just leave it sit there. And, I think it's going to run a long time. And what I'm asking, though, is about maintenance. So your maintenance, and you guys know I bought all the tools. I have everything that I need to do my own maintenance. And usually I do. I do my oil changes and stuff on the bike. Well, the last time I had to take it in because it had to have the front bearing, the head bearing adjusted. I didn't know how to do that. I didn't even know how to check for it. So I took it to my local independent Harley worker, Harley mechanic, and I took it to him. I took all my own oil with me, my own oil filter, my own gaskets and everything. He did the whole entire maintenance of the bike. And I think he charged me with the head bearings and everything. I think it was a couple $100 to do that. If you go to most Harley dealers, I know I think it was the 30,000 mile. I'm pretty sure it's what it was. It cost you about $400. Now, in all fairness, it would have cost more with him, but I had my own oil and gaskets and everything. And he said, people don't really bring me all their own stuff. I'm like, well, I like AMSOIL, and I don't know what he uses, so I took my own oil in. But I also want to still do my own maintenances. But there is that sheer part of that laziness part where you could just pull it in. They pull it up on their ramp thing and they lift it up and boom, boom, boom. Okay, you're all done. They shine everything up and we'll see you later. I don't have to get all my tools out. I don't have to get my oil pan out. I don't have to get all dirty laying on the floor. I don't do any of that. It's kind of worth $200 to me to do that. You know, am I getting older, lazier? I don't know. Now the Himalayan, like I said, the Himalayan is the one plug. You have to pull. You take two bolts out. The oil filter comes out. You get the oil filter out. You know, you take the one plug out, drain the oil, put the oil back in. I think it takes about 2 quarts total, and put the new oil filter in. You know, and clean the air box. You know, take the air cleaner out, clean the air box, which is really accessible, and that's it. So that one I do. Plus that one, the dealer I bought that from is like almost 2 hours away from here. Well, about an hour and a half. I'm not driving there for them to charge me a fortune, that's for sure. Motorroom Mike Bonus said, do you ever check your piston return springs? Yeah, I don't even know where the piston return springs are, so that would be a no. I never check those. Now, I know my independent guy checks everything, so if that's part of the maintenance, he does go over that and checks those. But, so anyway, but yeah, I don't even know what that is. Just had a vision of some guy from Police Academy. There you go. Had a couple of Garmin units for the bikes, Air CarPlay for the car, Apple CarPlay for the car. I have a 2023 Honda 150 Dual Sport, and I think oil change is optional. There you go. Be the Right PA says, I'm pushing 50K. Yeah, 50,000 miles, and he has a 2022 Road Glide Ultra, or Limited. Yeah, mine's a 2018, and I just turned 30. So that shows you. Be the Rider PA. Well, Be the Rider PA does ride for a living now. Now, he's not telling you that. He rides every day, and he gets paid to ride his motorcycle. And he can ride 500 miles in a day and still get paid. They pay for the fuel. So when you get paid to ride your motorcycle, guys, you are going to put more miles on it. But in all fairness, he does travel all over the world on his motorcycle. He's going to be doing, I think he said he's working on season 3 now, Be the Rider PA. Season 3, and he's supposed to be in, was it Guam? You're going to be riding through Guam on your Harley. That's going to be awesome. It's going to be good videos. Can't wait. Michael Winslow was a Forgotten Angel camp out. Just saw that guy motorrailing. Just had a vision of the sounded guy from the Police Academy. Huh. Anyway. So yeah, so how many of you guys out there do your own maintenance? I would still love to put a lift in the garage, but I just don't know how to get enough room. The garage should have been, I should have built my garage 30 foot by 30 foot. We built it 24 foot wide by 30 foot deep. And the deepness is nice, but then you start putting stuff in there. I need to start buying some stuff and getting some stuff up on the walls and off the floor. Floor space is key in the garage, right? And you start putting, like, I got all those shelving units in there and stuff for the boat. And I need to put shelves all along the walls, up on the walls. And then if I could bring the motorcycles to the back of the garage, I could easily fit 3 motorcycles in there and 2 cars, easily. But the way it sits right now, I was looking yesterday, and I took the tour pack off of the Harley, so it's sitting on the floor. I need to put the tour pack up on the Harley because I want to get the bikes against the wall more in my garage. You guys have seen those, right? You guys have seen the garage many times. Just to kind of move them out of the way and see how many more bikes can I get in there. A lot of people know I wanted to do a project bike over the winter too, but I have a lot of great thoughts, and then it's like I just turn around. It's like, yeah, I'm not doing that. Just not my thing, I guess. Harbor Freight sells a lift. You could do a bike in your self channel lift. It sells a lift. We can do a bike do it yourself channel. Oh, there you go. Yeah, that's true. You could do that. I mean, it's guys really like watching YouTube videos with other guys working on their bikes. It's really huge. But Myself and Bo Dean was in that conversation the other night. Real Jackie boy, good morning. Why are you yawning, HDR? You need a little more coffee. Yeah, I didn't get out of bed until 7, so there is that. Myself and Bodine was talking yesterday, and we were talking about people buying motorcycles, or he said, "Oh, something about owning motorcycles, whatever." His video. It surprises, amazes me how many guys will buy new motorcycles for their YouTube channel. Now if you're making a lot of bank on it, that's great because just take the money you're making from YouTube and make your payments. And new bikes do drive views and drive subscribers to your channels. I get that, but guys, don't go in debt. Don't go in debt for $35,000 to make $150 a month. Right? It doesn't make sense. It just, I don't know. Just grow the channel, normally and let it build itself. I mean, a lot of viewers out there. My buddy Road Reality was it did a video on. It's interesting because he does a video on it. Somebody else did a video on it, like, is moto vlogging dead? Have we finally used up everything we could say? Have we finally talked to everybody out there? The only thing I can tell you about, as long as it's a human interest type of a motor vlogging channel and not too specific on items, I think it's better because I get a lot of people that watch my channel that old timers that used to ride, they can't ride anymore. And they'll tell me, "Hey, HDR, thank you so much for taking a ride out in the country. I remember it." And the guy says, "I feel like I was riding that motorcycle right alongside of you there, and I really enjoyed the video." You know, just stuff like that. That's who I'm looking for, right? So, but it's nice to have that communication stuff with people. And I know a lot of you do that too. Harley 103, yes, we had, it's a head unit. Oh, I'm sorry. Harley 103 was saying something here. Let me go back through the chat and see here. I get to talking. Okay. Harley 103, Harley 103. I can't find you here. Going back. Reverse. Everybody go back. I don't see where he mentioned. Oh, okay. What's involved in installing a sound stream? I don't know what kind of bike you have, Harley 103. I have a Road Glide. So all I have to do is I remove the fairing. Okay, so if you have a bat ring fairing even, remove the fairing. You unbolt the 3 bolts holding your stereo system in your boombox. It'll slide right out. Okay, it's all one unit. Take the SoundStream one, slide it right back in. It's made to fit right back in perfectly. Put those 3 bolts back in. Connect your 3 wires on the back of it, and you're done. Okay. What's nice about SoundStream is your hand controls all still work with it. So your volume, your changing, your scanning, all that stuff will still work with that SoundStream. That's why I was looking at it. The Sony, not so much. The Sony, I guess a couple buttons work, but not all of them, or I don't know. But it's not waterproof. So, anyway, look at the SoundStream. I know you're going to be very happy with that, especially if you got the old, outdated boom boxes like I have from 1995. Those boom boxes they're just done. In all reality, even if you got the little head units, on my 2011, I had a little head unit. It looked like the one the old cars used to have in it, like the old radios. SoundStream even makes a replacement for that. Okay, now I don't think it has a GPS on it, but it does Apple Play as far as like playing your music through Bluetooth and all that. So you can do that upgrade on your bikes too, and I think it's a pretty cool thing to do. But yeah, so it looks the same. It's a really good device. I'm told it is waterproof, 100%. And you can customize the screen, yes, any way you want. So really, really nice box there. Buying a new Harley gives one a dopamine rush. Yeah, until the payment book comes in, then that dopamine rush is gone. You're like, oh hell no. The best thing, guys, and I can tell you, I've experienced it. The best thing you can ever get in the mail is your title, right? That's the best thing you can ever get in the mail. Take that baby, put that baby in your log box. Take it to the bank and put it in a safety deposit box, whatever. The best thing you can get in the mail is your title. That means you're free and clear. The bank can't come knocking anymore, right? Knocking on your door going, We're here to repo your motorcycle. Yep, can't do that. I got the title. Can't do that. So, yeah, it's an awesome thing. What is today's day name? Oh, today's the 4th. I was just thinking, I got to pay bills. Just talking about bills here. Got to pay a bill. Are you getting new speakers? Scott Davis said, not right now. I am not. If I do, I'm going to buy is it called Frostgate speaker system. Real glad Andy put them in his bike. I believe Be the Rider PA has them in his bike. And you can hear those guys when they leave their house. Both those guys live probably, I don't know, 30, 40 miles, at least 30 or 40 miles from my house. When they start their bikes up to come over, I know they're leaving their house because I can hear their stereos from 30 miles away. They are that loud. So I'm not sure at that point. I'm probably going to have to. But, you know, I don't know. I don't know if I'm into that whole sound system upgrade. I just wanted the new head unit, really, and the option to have a better, more up-to-date GPS, right? That's something I really want to have. So time will tell. Spotify on my phone with WIM works great for me. WS Keys on 3. Yeah, WS Keys on 3s, and you're right. And I usually use YouTube Music now on my phone because I pay for YouTube Premium. Which, guys, I don't know if you noticed, if you are monetized, your monetization money is going to go through the roof. You know why? Even my kids told me the other day, they said, hey, Mr. HDR, we're not watching your videos anymore. I said, why not, guys? They said, because you got commercials and we're not watching them because YouTube blocked our ad blockers. You can't use ad blockers anymore and watch YouTube. It comes up, they said, let you watch 2 videos, and it comes up and says, sorry, you have an ad blocker. You have to turn that thing off and watch the next 3 ads, or you can't watch any more YouTube today. So, either your ad revenue is going to go way up through the roof, or your views are going to go way down through the roof. And the reason is, a lot of my kids are telling me that people are now just stepping back from YouTube, saying, I just won't watch it anymore. I tell everybody to buy YouTube Premium. It is worth it. You know, you're not only getting no commercials, you're getting free YouTube music. You know, all the music you can want and listen to on your bike. You're getting all the video content with no commercials on your TV, on your smartphone, on your computer. It is just a huge, huge benefit to pay that, $16 a month. And this is the best part. As soon as you watch a video from somebody that's monetized, the content creator gets paid immediately. That's what you're paying that money for. So you're giving that $16 out. So as you watch my video, they go, okay, here's 8 cents for HDR. Then you watch Bodine's video. They go, here's 8 cents for Bodine. Then you watch Toby Northern. They said, here's 8 cents for Toby Northern. That's what they take out. That money is not to make Google rich. That money is to make sure the content creators are getting paid, but your trade-off and your benefit is no commercials. So buy YouTube Premium. Buy it today. Okay, I'm telling you, you'll be so happy you did. You'll get your life back. Okay. Most YouTube videos today have a commercial every 3 minutes, right? And you will also notice on this live stream, I turned the commercials off. I don't want the commercials interrupting my live stream anyway. So I'm not looking to make money on this. Now, when the video is over, the commercials get overlaid because now it's called a long-term video. And YouTube doesn't like those long-term videos being on YouTube without creating ad revenue money. So it gets turned on for the playback. But live streaming, I'm allowed to turn it off. And I do. I turned it off because I don't want you to sit here and watch commercials when I'm saying something important like this. Okay? Thank God I make the entire too much money from YouTube. Yes, the anonymous biker's making bank, right? He made so much money, he just went out and bought a brand new Himalayan. Some people call it the Himalayan. That's nice if you live in India. We live in America. It's a Himalayan, okay? Payne's Rides just took one out, and Payne's Rides said he really loved the bike, but he couldn't afford to buy it. It was too expensive, and he just couldn't lay down the money because he's not making a lot on YouTube. Anonymous Biker is. Good morning, Anonymous Biker. Glad to have you on board here. Jarvis Biker, glad to have you in there. Jarvis Biker just had a new video come out. He was going to VAM 2021. I just have to pull his chains. He was actually going to VAM last year, and he has a video come out riding in the clouds. So you might want to check that video out. Don't forget to change your clocks tonight. Yeah, I just seen that, guys. We got to change the clocks. Damn it. What? The only nation in the world that messes with clocks, the United States of America. Can't we just pick a time and stay there? You know, they talked about that in Congress. Like, I don't know how it's going to work because, you know, all those digital phones automatically change. And I just don't know if we can make that call and, you know, make them take that software off of there. Guys, shut up. Anyway, I don't know why we mess with time. You know, time is so precious. Well, tonight is fall. Tonight is fall, so we fall back an hour. So here's what I would say to do. What I would say to do tonight, or even today, anytime really, do it later before you turn the clocks back. Do whatever the hell you want to do, right? Let it rip. Do whatever. Even though if you know it's wrong, do it. Because then you turn the clocks back and it never happened. It's the only time we get to turn clocks back. We fall back. So do whatever you want. Turn the clocks back. It never happened. So remember I told you that. So if you rob a bank, you're in prison, right? Turn the clock back an hour and you never robbed the bank. Think about that. Could be. Jarvis Biker said, thanks for the plug. You're right, buddy, man. No problem at all, man. Yeah, watch that Into the Clouds. WS Keys said we should all be on GMT Zulu time. Absolutely, we should be. We should all be on some kind of time other than this stupid time changes. Awful, man. Just awful. Changing time all the time. Then your body is messed up for the next 2 weeks, right? But falling back or springing ahead. You know what I hated falling back? When I used to work at convenience stores, and I used to work the midnight shift. So I'd be working along, and all of a sudden come, what is it? I don't know, 1, 2 in the morning. All of a sudden I had to turn all the clocks back. Like, well, God, I got to work an extra hour. And I did. I worked 9 hours that night instead of 8. And on the midnight shift, if you guys ever worked the graveyard shift or the midnight shift anywhere, you can probably feel my pain when how tired you are when you come home in the morning. I often said the human body's not made to stay up at night. We need to take those graveyard shifts, and they need to abolish those in Congress. Say no more. No more, no more 11 to 7 shift. That's gone, right? And I know a lot of factory workers out there. My father-in-law worked the midnight shift all of his life, and he loved it because he got into a rhythm, right? He went to work at night, came home in the morning, went to bed, and he had a rhythm to do that. I never really appreciated the midnight shift, but some people do love it, and that's okay. And I guess we have to have it some places like medical hospitals, right? Everybody can't go home at 11 and be like, okay, patients, lights out, good luck. Okay, we'll see you in the morning. If your thing starts beeping or if it goes crazy, go ahead and shock yourself. Probably be a bad idea in the medical field, right? Paramedics, like I was, bad idea. Policemen, oh wow. Or fire, right? Fire breaks out in the middle of the night and the fire department's like, yeah, can't go. We don't have anybody working midnight shift. House burns down. Yeah, okay. I guess there's some problems with it. Okay, we'll say essential workers. That's a word we used to use 2-3 years ago. We'll use that word. The essential workers must work midnight shifts, but it's illegal for everybody else. There you go. Rogue Gladiator said he misses the midnight shift. He did it for 15 years. It frees up your days to get things done. Rogue Gladiator, I couldn't move during the day. It was awful. One of the worst shifts in the world is afternoon shift. You wake up in the morning, you wait around all day to go to work. And then by the time you come home, everybody's in bed, and then you're not tired, so you sit up until 2 in the morning watching movies. That was a horrible thing, too, afternoon shift. We got a shift coming up, too, where I work, and you know I'm a teacher, right? We start work at 8 o'clock in the morning, and we'll get done at 8 o'clock at night, okay? It's our 12-hour shift. I thought we did 5 of them a year, but apparently I guess we do 6 of those a year. So we do 6 of those a year. and we get a day and a half at work though. So it works out in our favor. But guys, that's a long day at work. I mean, oh my God, it's a long day. Now we don't teach all that time, right? But we got to be there this time for parent-teacher conferences. Where the parents come in and we tell them how great their kids are, how wonderful they're doing in class, how we love to have them, how they're a joy every day they walk into the room. Yeah, okay. Anyway, most of them are so. Um, yep. Risky Medic says, I'm still doing 24-hour shifts, buddy. I remember those. Smyrna Cowboy said, I worked 6 p.m. to 6 a.m. for 17 years. You worked 12-hour shifts for 17 years? You are some kind of a working god. Wow, that's crazy. HDR, if you work the afternoon shift, you could get the garage all organized instead of watching movies. Yeah, you're right. You're right. That's true. Risky Medic said, don't know if I could go to work regular shifts. Yeah, I used to work 3 12-hour shifts a week. That was full time as a medic. We do 36 hours a week. The extra shift would be called an extra shift, which you would get half the pay because by the time they hit you with the taxes, it would literally be half the pay. Once most of our guys figured that out, we didn't do extra shifts anymore. It would be better off to work for another ambulance service for straight pay. You'd make more money. So that's what we did. All right. I guess we're going to be breaking it off here and kicking it out of here. So it was a wonderful little chat this morning with everybody. I'm glad you made it in there. And to those putting your bikes up, I feel your pain. I mean, mine's put up too, put away, tucked away. And for those of you still riding, make some YouTube videos so the rest of us can at least ride along with you in spirit and in soul, right? If we can't even do it physically. So thank you, everybody, for watching this episode of Coffee with HDR. I appreciate you, and thanks for coming back each and every week, and I will talk to you again next week. Until then, remember, ride your own ride. You be safe out there, huh? Harley Day Rider, your good old friend, HDR, will be, once again, down and out in the beautiful studios here in southwestern Pennsylvania. Goodbye, everybody. Have a great day. Have a great week, and we'll see you next Saturday. Bye. Oh, turn back your clocks. Miss HDR said, don't forget, we got to do that. Bye for now. Wait.